Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast. Today is our 200th episode, and I'm very excited to share this with you because not only does it mark the fact that we've been on air for over about 3 years now, having weekly podcast episodes with you that are showcased on anywhere you can find podcasts, but also on YouTube so you can see the video. And the beautiful thing about this is that we are the longest running podcast about hair loss, specific to alopecia, specific to hair loss. This is very memorable and very exciting for me because looking back on my own journey, this all started with me having alopecia. And when you think about it, if you're listening to me, you have, or your loved one or your child has alopecia. So there's so many roads that we can take. We can choose to settle. We can choose to become an ostrich and put our heads in the sand and not want to come about and look at to see what's around us. We can also choose to do something different. We can also choose to heal. We can choose to get our hair back. We can choose to fight for what we want in life. We can choose to do so many things and to inspire others. And so I hope that if this is your first time ever listening to me, that you can find inspiration in this podcast because it was built, yes, for community, yes, for encouragement, yes, for inspiration. But more than likely, I also want you to understand that healing is for you, by you, and it's a total choice. It really is. Working with me gives you all the keys that unlock true healing. We offer worldwide functional medicine testing. We offer full evaluations. We offer results. And at the end of the day, through our program, through our framework and process, we have helped thousands of people in over 67 countries, which is a huge feat. At the time of this recording, I am looking to publish my book. I'm looking to do many things more to spread the word of Alopecia Angel and how everyone can heal, regardless of where they live. My current website is already translated at the bottom left-hand, right-hand corner. You can translate the website in so many different languages. I tend to do the same with the book, and I'm really excited to reach a global audience because when I was diagnosed with alopecia, and when I was living in the Netherlands, this was the hardest part, was trying to find help locally. It was the hardest thing. It was my Mount Everest, like I talk about in other podcast episodes. And so having overcome that, not just with the healthcare system and the doctors and the lack of information and results and options in the Netherlands, but also in the US and various states, I found healing naturally and holistically. And I know that you can too. So much so as that we also have a guarantee. We guarantee that you can find the healing in our framework and the hair growth that you want and deserve and crave so that you can live your best life from here on out. No more suffering, no more hair loss. And you don't have to even deal with it anymore. So I'm really excited for what's to come. And today's episode, I wanted to talk about the top 5 things that I never recommend. And normally, if you were to choose to start working with me, these are 5 things that more than likely I would tell you you don't need, you can let it go. It's not worth your time, your money, or your resources because these things are really doing a disservice to people. I'll go through the things one by one. So first and foremost, I never recommend Nutrafol, Viviscal, hair, skin, nail supplements. I never recommend those because it's a one size fits all and it's trying to place you into their needs versus looking at you as a whole person and seeing where you need most the vitamins, nutrients, or anything else. Yesterday, actually, I was on a coaching call and this lady has androgenic alopecia. There's an ingredient in Nutrafol that actually hinders androgenic female pattern baldness. And so it's not something I recommend. And that's just it. If you're not very well versed into supplements, vitamins, and pros and cons of each, then this is a problem because then you're just being guided by marketing standards or maybe even by what's available in your area or even by, let's say, what doctors tell you. That's also a disservice because it's not the true way to have full lifetime hair growth long-term. I say this as someone who's had alopecia areata, who lost over 50% of her hair, who now at the age of 45, grows an inch a month. I can track this with my gray hairs. This is a beautiful thing because no way in my 20s did my hair grow an inch a month. No way in my 30s did that happen. But now in my mid 40s, it's happening. That's the beauty of it. It's the more you put into this, the more you put into yourself, the more it compounds. And naturally, you just have amazing hair and hair growth. And that's what we all want. So you can have it. I wouldn't recommend Nutrafol. I wouldn't recommend Viviscal, Vegan More, one size fits all supplements. I also wouldn't recommend the hair, skin, and nail supplements. I also wouldn't recommend minoxidil or any type of medications. Minoxidil at some point will backfire. It's chemicals. And so don't think that this is your solution to your situation, because it's not. The other thing is that medications in general, depending on the type of alopecia, depending on the type of medication it is, it could be suppressing your immune system. It could be creating more havoc in your body. It could also create other situations. A lot of JAK inhibitors, for example, are type 1 carcinogenic. They cause cancer. And these are things that I would never consider doing for myself or even for a young child. A lot of alopecia meds also cause impotence, erectile dysfunction, and other serious side effects. And it can also cause fertility issues. It can also cause a whole host of other ramifications that you don't want to have to deal with later on just to get your hair back. You can get your hair back naturally. You don't need medications for that. And so doing the medication route is cheating yourself of a life filled with health, filled with hair, and not having to worry about it ever again. And so this is something that I'm very adamant about, because that's why Alopecia Angel exists, because I decided to go the natural route. I wanted to protect my fertility. I had my first baby at 40. He's beautiful, healthy in every shape and form. And I highly believe that it's because that I took the natural route, because my body was just primed for it. And that's what we want. We want to upgrade all areas of our lives. We don't want to downgrade one area or two areas or three areas just to get our hair back. It doesn't sound like a bargain to me in that sense. So just to recap ever so slightly, I don't recommend the Nutrafol, Viviscals, the hair, nail, skin supplements, the all-in-one supplements. I don't recommend minoxidils. I don't recommend the Rogaines. I don't recommend medications. I don't recommend biotin. I don't recommend saw palmetto. I know a lot of you with androgenic female pattern baldness are going to be like, what? Why not saw palmetto? That's because it's not doing anything. It's just not going to get you to where you want to go. And so think about it this way. You can be at the airport in Los Angeles and try to see how to get to Europe, but there's no flights. And so you just settle for a flight to Ohio, but Ohio isn't Europe. And so then you're just sitting and waiting in Ohio because they too don't have flights to Europe. So then what? That's how minoxidil is. It may or may not give you side effects. It may or may not have ramifications. It may or may not have hair growth for you. But either way, once you stop, that hair loss goes away. And so those are things that I highly don't recommend. The biotin, I also don't recommend. There's actually one more supplement I don't recommend in general too, because high levels of vitamin A, for example, cause hair loss. And so you could be trying all the supplements and taking too much of something, and that could also be backfiring on your situation. So vitamin A, too much of it causes hair loss as well. There's a lot of medications that cause hair loss. I have a free PDF on the website, alopeciaangel.com, and you can see for yourself, download that for free. There's also a couple new free downloads that I will be adding here shortly of how to take care of your hair, basics and foundations of that, and so much more. At the time of this recording, we are recording in October 2025. And every year, I love to give back to the alopecia community. And I've always thought about doing my own charity. However, it's a lot of work. Therefore, what I've done instead is I've created a scholarship. And so I have an application for anyone who's interested to have a free entry into the Hair and Heal program. They would start January 1st with our next cohort. And all the information is on our email list. So you need to be on our email list to get this information for the scholarship. And it's 100% free. Now, the winner of the scholarship, there will be one winner, and there are requirements to submit an application, just like a college application, right? There's requirements. And so once you fill out those requirements, submit your application, we will be announcing the winner, hopefully sometime in December, if not sooner. Now, why do I do this? Because my heart goes out to everybody and everybody who's dealing with alopecia, whether it's autoimmune or not. Hair loss is something that has rocked my world in the best and the worst of ways, but it's also a way for me to give back without having all of the extra bells and whistles of actually having a full-on charity. So I love giving back. I love doing this scholarship, and I've been doing this for the last 8 years, either secretly or openly like I am now. I wanted to showcase this and publicize this loud and proud because I am very proud of being able to help others in different countries where, again, I was that same person in another country with no help. And then all the doors closed for me. And it doesn't matter whether I wanted to pay out of pocket to see a specialist or not, all those doors were closed. And so I understand what that looks like. I understand how so many doors closed. And this is why, again, Alopecia Angel was created to open the doors so that everyone can have full access, not just to testing, but to a program that has results, proven results to heal you and your loved one and your whole family, to thrive, to have amazing hair, to have amazing health, and just to continue to be your best selves here and forever. So that charity option, that scholarship is starting now, immediately, and we are accepting applications. Again, you need to be subscribed onto our mailing list. So if you're not subscribed and you're not sure, you can always email us at hello@alopeciaangel.com. We will send you all the details and all the information. And then I personally will be reviewing each application and I will choose a winner. So I am very excited for this because last year we chose a lady named Priya out of India, and I have a podcast episode with her. It's probably episode 100 and something. She saw hair growth immediately. She had a very emotional attachment when she found out that she was the winner. And it was a beautiful story. I hope to bring her back onto the podcast so you can see her full transformation and hear it from her directly. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a follower of Alopecia Angel. And if you know somebody with hair loss, or if you think that they're suffering from hair loss, feel free to share this podcast with them. Feel free to share the free information that we have on our website with them, because even just a little bit of information goes a long way. When people start seeing the transformation, not just from my own experience, but from my clients' experience from all over the world, from different countries, you can hear it from the different accents and how we all just look differently. It's a beautiful thing because it really shows you the beauty of healing your hair naturally, but then also how biology wants to heal. Your body's not broken. It wants to heal. And so it's just about getting the right support, the right guidance and expertise. And that's what I'm here for. I look forward to talking to you next time. Thank you so much. Take care. And I look forward to seeing your application. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.